The mic messed up.
Oh, that's too funny.
All right. Welcome to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body. We have Guy Waltman on the line. So welcome to the show, Guy.
Thank you for having me, Drew. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How's it going today?
Dude, not too bad. Grinding every day. Trying to start this company.
What is this?
Change the world.
It's a crazy world. So today we're talking about family first fitness. I think it's a great topic. In the past we've talked about fitness for kids. We've talked about a number of different areas, but we haven't talked about families as a whole. And I think it's a good opportunity for us to talk about that with our listening base.
Wonderful. Wonderful, man.
How'd you get into fitness?
How did I get into fitness or why did I get into fitness?
Either or.
Both. Let's just do both.
Let's do both.
So, I mean, I was really blessed in having parents who wanted to get me involved in everything. So they wanted to just, really get me exposed to as much as possible. That way I could sort of make my own decisions on what I was comfortable and what I enjoyed doing. Everything from playing, football and lacrosse and basketball to, playing chess with my father and things of that nature and ping pong and dancing and all of it. So what I had the advantage of having as a child was parents who had an appreciation and a value for health and fitness. So, and part of what I'm doing with Family First Fitness, sort of the tie-in here is that I think a lot of families lack what I had growing up, and I think that a lot of children these days would be benefited by having parents who understood the value of health and fitness and really made it a part of the day-to-day life, instilling those healthy habits at young ages so that they can last a lifetime. You know what I mean? It's sort of, that's one of my main goals.
Where do you think the gap comes from in today's day and age of less than active kids or families or whatever you think comes first, I guess?
Well, the thing is that, and there's a lot of different answers too. There's no one answer, based on that issue here. But we live in a society that is, everybody wants instantaneous, whatever it is, progress or answers, or back in the day, I mean, and before my time, but you would call someone on the phone, and if they were on the line with someone else, you got a busy signal, and then you tried back later, and then eventually you had you had the call waiting, and now you have texting, and you have emails blasting back and forth. So we live in this sort of instant world where everybody wants instant gratification for everything, and everybody's just on the go, 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 go. And what has sort of happened is people, health and fitness has sort of, it's fallen off of the map. And it was something that used to be, I think, valued a lot more in, I'll say, families. But now, when you have both parents working and when you have kids who are doing all the after-school activities that they have, and then the academic requirements are getting steeper and steeper and steeper, health and fitness, again, it's just gotten kicked to the curb. And we have to figure out a way to fix that.
So you got into fitness, and now you do this as a lifestyle, you do this as a business. Where did that come from? I know that you have your own story that's a little bit more personal. You feel like sharing that today?
Sure. I mean, you said it perfectly. The word was lifestyle, and that's really the key here. So, part of what I like to say is that health and fitness, and it doesn't necessarily mean exercise. You might not exercise every day, and if you do exercise every day, it doesn't have to be a marathon every day. You're going to have days where you're feeling great and you're Superman. You're going to have other days where you might just sort of be you're having one of those days, and you might just go through the motions. But what it is a lifestyle. So it needs to become, health and fitness needs to truly become something that is as routine and regimented as just brushing your teeth in the morning. You wake up and you do that every day. So it's something that I feel strongly about, and my personal story, which you referenced, is it is profoundly personal. My motivation stems from the bond that I had with my father, and I referenced both him and my mother earlier, and the fact that they did such a good job as parents to expose me to a wide variety of different sports and activities and things in the realm of health and fitness. But what is particularly interesting is that they were willing to do that for me, but not themselves. So what you had in the case of my father was that he let himself go, and he was a selfless individual in that he cared about me and my sister, and he did everything he could for us. But there was a lack of education and awareness associated with the fact that what he was doing to his health is, quite frankly, a very selfish act. And to really let your health go like that can be detrimental, and it ended up being exactly that. In my case, my father passed away 4 years ago from metabolic disease, and what is something that I have to live with every day is knowing that that is 100% preventable disease. And it's not something that you're born with. Well, it actually can be something that you're born with, but in the majority of cases, it's lifestyle, which is, again, that word that you brought up. So I work every day in order to make my father proud, but in order to also ensure that what happened to me doesn't happen to other individuals across the country, because again, it's 100% preventable.
So when it comes to lifestyle, I love talking about lifestyle. I'll talk about lifestyle all day. So when it comes to lifestyle, you brought up an interesting aspect of family first, and I think that across the board you could, and even myself, I'll talk about how the kids need to be educated, or how the parents need to be educated, how the parents need to set a good example. But I don't hear it very often when you say the family needs to come first. The family needs to do it together, which is why I brought you on. And where does that come from? Why do you say it's the family and so many other people saying one or the other?
Well, it's very easy, right, to say, Johnny, little Johnny, go do your exercise before dinner, right? That's really easy to sort of just direct, and that's sort of what happened in my life. So, my father was able to basically, he was very easily able to say, just go play outside. But what was lacking was an actual, a viable and effective option for him to do together. So what you have is, when you have a system in which mom and dad can make a commitment to the child, and you can actually have a commitment to something as a family, what you're going to find is that there's a heightened level of adherence. So it's very easy to say, okay, I'm not going to work out today, but Drew, if you and I have a commitment to each other, unfortunately we're on opposite sides of the country, but if we worked out together, if you were my, one of the guys who I enjoyed exercise with, and we just had a commitment to each other, I'm not going to miss a day, because I have a commitment to you. And when you consider the strength of, the powerful bond that a parent has with their child, if you have a system which, quite frankly, you can search the market, you can search the whole market, and you're not going to find anything. I will propose to you that you're not going to find anything that really can do the job as well as Family First Fitness can do that. And I say that as humbly as possible. But what you have is that you have a higher level of adherence when the family can really adhere to something together, and the results of that they transcend far more than just the health of the family. So what you have is you have more quality time with your family, and it leads to greater levels of productivity, and it really transcends a lot of other areas of the lifestyle that you brought up.
So how do you go about talking your kids into, I guess maybe let's break this down. How do we get the family to be involved? It starts with the parents. Do you get the kids motivated? How are you reaching these families?
Quite frankly, it starts with fun. And because if it's not fun, no one will do it. And that's also part of the reason why a lot of people don't exercise to begin with, let alone as a family, but just even individually. A lot of people don't do it because they view it as a chore. So the first step in creating the program that I did was making it fun. And after that, because again, that's just the common denominator that has to exist. From that point in time, you go about sort of designing the system. But as far as like sort of the success that I've seen is from a marketing perspective, I'm really fortunate in the fact that because it's fun, it's not necessarily that it's just moms who are like, okay, I'm going to buy this for my family, or dads who are into fitness and like, I'm going to buy it for my kid. You know, what you have is because it's fun and because sort of everybody wants to have more time with their family. This is really the product, the program is appealing to everyone, which is really a nice thing to see. I mean, I was really, my day was made recently when, you know, he had been maybe 10 years old. He came up to me and he said, you know, are you Guy? I said, yeah. He goes, I watched your video and it was really inspiring. And he goes, I'm trying to convince my parents to get it for me. You know, but then later in that same day, you have, you know, one of my friends who gave me a referral, and she said, you know what, this sounds like the perfect thing for my family because, you know, the time that we do spend together, we're just watching TV, and we do that for about 2 hours a night, but we could make a half hour, you know, of family fitness. So it's sort of appealing to the whole spectrum, which is, and I call it the family spectrum. So it's a nice, you know, it is a nice benefit in that regard.
So what happens when it's I guess it's a commitment. So it's a family commitment. We talk our parents, we talk to the kids, or the kids talk to the parents. Everyone wants to do this together.
It has to be done together because part of why so many people fail is because they don't have that level of adherence that you need to have in order to really make something habit and sort of religious, if you will. But what happens is if you, especially with children, if you start children at young ages, then it just becomes a part of the routine. So the together aspect is honestly, it's crucial to the success of not just sort of my company, but also the success of the individuals who are participating. You know, yeah, go for it.
So when I talk about having a supportive environment, so that's one of the key aspects of the way I teach of how you find your success. So having a healthy environment, finding a safe place where you can go and visit, whether it's online or physically visit, whatever it is. Now, it sounds like that's similar. Would you agree that you can turn your family into a supportive unit of health and wellness?
100%. I mean, that is the beautiful thing about in-the-home fitness programs. You know, a lot of people don't like going to the gym because they don't like 100 people staring at them while they do their thing. And when you exercise in the comfort of your own living room, so all of that fear and trepidation goes away. So, and then when you combine that with the fact that you're just with your loved ones, you know, the people who you spend most of your time with, you just have a love for each other that it transcends the embarrassment that is sometimes associated with one's physical capabilities. So it ends up really bringing families closer together throughout the whole process as well.
Well, you talked about fun. Of course, it has to be enjoyable. I think everyone, well, not everyone, a lot of people have in the mindset of, you know, this is a chore, how you mentioned earlier. This is something that I have to do. Yeah. What do you do? Of course, we're going to keep coming back if it's fun. You want to do things that are enjoyable. What kind of things do you do or recommend? How do you make it fun?
Drew, that is actually a difficult question to answer. Part of what makes it fun is the fact that, and you either love it or you don't, but part of what makes it fun is that it's high energy. So, you know, Drew, I'm like this without coffee. You know what I mean? I just, I wake up in the morning.
Love life.
And I'm awake, you know? So, and I really try hard, you know, on a very serious level. I try very hard to have some of my energy flow through the camera, you know, and that is not easy to do because there is that inevitable disconnect that happens when you're just watching a television screen. But I try very hard. Part of my challenge as a virtual trainer is to make it as interactive as possible. And when you know, the other sort of strategy that I utilize in order to make it fun is to make it relatable. So when you have, some of my clients who are 300, 400, 500, 600 pounds, and I'm not exaggerating, what they find to be enjoyable about the program is that when they look at the screen, they're not looking at supermodels, everyone who has, perfect flat stomachs, and quite frankly, they don't look like they need a trainer, but they see people like them. And that goes for the same thing with the 4-year-old. The 4-year-old son or daughter can look at the screen and see a kid just like themselves. So there's the fact that it's relatable, combined with the fact that I really do try to keep it upbeat and energetic, that people find it enjoyable.
So I watched your video a number of times, and one of the things that was cool is that you've done the balloon thing. Like you've shown that I thought the T-shirt was cool. You showed one of your clients with an extra large T-shirt and a number of different, not body sizes, but his results. That's results that you were showing there. Are those things that you're doing that you're making up? Is that part of the program that you want them to do on their own? What does that look like?
I'm just making that up. I mean, so part of what you try and do as a trainer is you try and constantly show people that they're getting results, because as soon as they think that they're plateauing, if you can find a way to show them that they're really not plateauing and that they're still on the up and up, then that keeps them motivated and that keeps them encouraged. So, letting go of the balloons is something that was, I think, very symbolic for them, and that they were sort of releasing that baggage that was holding them down. And then sort of the thing that I did with the T-shirts, that's just something that, again, visual, because a lot of people are very visual. So they like to see the shirt starting to fit better, and, not having it be so tight. They're just little ways, and you get creative with it. So I always encourage people to get creative in how they can measure and track their results. But those are just sort of two little fun, creative ways that I did, and I'm glad you picked up on it. It's good.
Yeah, that was cool to see. I mean, everybody wants to see results in some way, and I think that you have to come up with different types of original ways. Personally, I don't use the scale as a form of measurement, but I find different ways as well. And I mean, measuring, but I just thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that you're doing different ways and thinking of different ways to keep people interested, because once we, just like you said, once we stop seeing results or we stop seeing a reason to carry on, that's usually the tipping point when we start exercising less and less, or maybe you eat a little bit more of what you're not supposed to. So I definitely think that's important. I want to put you on the spot here, and I'm going to ask you to give me 3 of your quick tips on how someone could change their life, family first fitness style.
Cool. All right. That's fantastic. So the first piece of advice that I always give people is it's actually on the realm of nutrition, because a lot of people find that to be the most challenging part of the whole process, especially with their children. They say, if they just don't want to eat the healthy food, they just don't think it, whatever it is, the kid doesn't want it, whether they don't think it tastes good or what have you. The easiest way to combat that particular issue and sort of spearhead that is you get the child involved in the preparation process.
Nice.
So I don't want to eat broccoli because I don't like broccoli, but I don't know why I don't like broccoli. But if you let the kid come in and actually take hold of the broccoli and help you cut it and help you steam it or however you prepare it, when it comes time to eat it, they're going to actually want to try it, because like I made this, so they're going to want to try it. So that's number one as far as the nutrition side of things. As far as the exercise side of things, the best thing that you can do in order to take care of your body physically, because exercise, depending on where you start from, is also going to have a big effect on how your body responds to the training. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to manage your stress. When you get anxious, when you get very stressed, you have hormones in your body, and I'm not going to get too scientific on you, but you have hormones in your body that normally are sort of leveled, and they, because of the anxiety, they get heightened. And what happens is when those hormones get when they get out of control, those hormones start to shut down your energy level, and they also inhibit your body's ability to recover, so that when you do work out, you're sore for days and days. Whereas if you can sort of maintain your stress level, then your body will recover more. Your body will, the results will come quicker. The results will be greater, and that will help a lot as far as just even keeping your energy up to want to keep going and your motivation. And then the third piece of advice I'm going to give, it's sort of the trinity here. There's the nutrition. There's the nutrition is number one. Then there's the exercise, and then the one that people always forget about, which is sleep. And sleep is honestly the most important one. You have different rhythms in your body, and the rhythm that controls your sleeping patterns is the most powerful rhythm. So it's the one that's going to dictate your behavior the most. And so for people who don't get enough sleep, that is going to sort of have a domino effect on it'll have effects on obviously your energy levels, on your anxiety levels, and so they all sort of affect each other in one way.
It's all connected, isn't it?
Or another. So it's all connected, absolutely. So again, the trinity there is you have to do your best to eat right. You have to sort of you have to learn to control your stress level throughout an exercise program. And again, the fun factor of my program helps. And you have to make sure that you're getting enough rest and recovery. You have to sleep.
All right, Guy, before we wrap things up, we got a couple minutes left here. Now, I know you're launching this, exciting program that, it's awesome. I love it, and I want to share your message and tell more people about it. So, tell us what you got going on here.
Yeah, so, there's no secret that we have, a public health crisis in this country. That's no secret. You have what's the word I want to use? They are exciting initiatives. They are ambitious initiatives that have been launched. Let's Move campaign, and just to name one. I don't want to single out too many campaigns, but they're very ambitious and they have big goals, and that's really great. But in my estimation, those big ambitious campaigns is not where we need to start if we're going to really have success in reversing the increasing trends of childhood obesity, diet-related disease, metabolic disease, and all that. What I believe to be the first step to overcoming this public health crisis is making health a family commitment. It starts with families. You don't build the roof of a house before you build, the foundation, and that sounds so cliche. But when you really think about it, it's true. Every time that you go to a supermarket and you scan a barcode across the register or whatever, every single time you beep, 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 you're casting a vote. You're saying, I want this as opposed to this. So what you have is you have policy on government levels trying to be changed before we've really changed what the American people want, what families want. So if we're going to have any success, we need to make health a family commitment. Now, what I have done, so in response to that, in an attempt to do just that, I've created an exercise and nutrition program, Family First Fitness, and for families to work out and be healthy together. Sort of this whole thing that we're talking about. So you have a lot of in-home fitness programs. I mean, it started with the Richard Simmons of the world, and then you have the Billy Blanks and Tony Horton and all of those. But what you don't have is a program that entire families can do together, and that's actually intended for entire families to do together. So so the program that I created, I'm trying to bring to market right now. So I launched a Kickstarter campaign. I don't know if you're for Kickstarter, but Kickstarter is a way to sort of to raise funds that you need to actually produce a program and bring it to the market, and you raise that money by offering discounted sales on the finished product itself. So for people who sort of like what they hear and potentially want to get involved or even just learn more, what I would encourage them to do, what I implore them to do, is to go to Kickstarter.com and to check out my campaign, which is you can, in the search bar, you can type in Family First Fitness, or you can type in my name, which is Guy Waltman, and it should pop up.
Yeah, we'll link your video and Kickstarter in the show notes here, so we'll help spread the word. It's exploringmindandbody.com/Family First Fitness. So we'll put your video. It's a cool video. It's a great video actually. So Guy, I wish you all the best in this mission of yours. I think it's real. I think people should be involved, and I hope to get as many people involved as possible for you. So
thank you, Drew.
Yeah, keep pushing forward. No, it's not easy doing your own thing, and especially coming from a real, authentic. I think the market is so filled with less than moral type of things, let's say. But I think you're I think you're coming at it from the right angle, and I wish you all the best with it.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on today. Really appreciate it.
All right, Guy, we're going to cut it off there.